And you know who Meghan's cartoon is inspired by? Meghan. She made the cartoon. It's inspired by her.
No two people have been handed more and contributed yet less. I'll say that in English. Yet they shamelessly continue to tell a country where 70% of people are living paycheck to paycheck that it's really hard to be royalty. Please.
I resent you. I resent England for sending your secondhand royalty to us, because now we got to deal with this.
It was downright bizarre. The former Duchess of Sussex was caught on camera twerking in what looked like a hospital delivery room, Prince Harry right beside her, laughing like it was just another day on TikTok. But the soundtrack, a full-blown baby mama anthem demanding child support. And the setting? Allegedly just moments before giving birth to Lilibet. For someone who's tried so hard to brand herself as polished, royal, and above the chaos, this looked more like parody than parenting. Now, fans are saying Greg Gutfeld will surely not hold back, especially since the guy had been very obvious about his dislike of Meghan. And as expected, the internet's eating it up. From conspiracy theorists to commentators, everyone's asking, was she ever even pregnant? Because this isn't just about a dance. This might just be the smoking gun that reignites one of the most controversial royal rumors of all time. Let's get started. All right, let's not pretend Gutfeld just jumped into this conversation recently. He's been calling Meghan out for years. Back in 2021, Gutfeld roasted Meghan on air for what he called turning Prince Harry into a Kardashian. During a panel discussion, he said how Prince Harry went from being a military hero to a Hollywood accessory. He also suggested that Meghan didn't marry a prince. She married a brand she could profit from. He didn't stop there. Gutfeld also suggests that now Harry looks like he's one meltdown away from landing on a reality show.
And then they had to sit in a room with him and realize, my God, they're vacuous. He's a nice guy, apparently, but I mean, just thoroughly vacuous. She leads him around on a rope, and and it's like, that's it. That is the kind of sitcom I want to see.
His co-hosts laughed, but the tone was clear. Meghan wasn't royalty. She was a walking publicity campaign. So when the bump video dropped, it was like watching all of Gutfeld's earlier critiques come to life. She said in the caption that she was trying to induce labor after spicy food and acupuncture didn't work. Prince Harry was right there too, hyping her up, grinning, playing the supportive husband. While Meghan thought it was a good idea to upload the clip, most people think otherwise. Because just as fast as it dropped, the clip was picked up by social media skeptics, conspiracy theorists, and yes, people who've been questioning Meghan's pregnancies since day one.
Meghan's baby bump was fake. Heard that?
Yeah.
See what happens right after the pop sound? You see, there is literally no sign of a baby bump at all. Now watch as her tummy magically inflates. I've never seen a pregnant tummy just inflate like this, have you?
Yeah, I have to say that was weird. But maybe it's just an illusion, and the sound was from something else. Maybe somebody from audience was moving a chair, or I don't know.
According to Glamour, online forums immediately reignited rumors that she wore a prosthetic belly, or didn't carry the baby at all. They slowed the video down, zoomed in, and went full CSI on her stomach, trying to catch it folding or slipping. And while mainstream media brushed it off, some are already speculating that someone like Greg Gutfeld, never one to hold back when it comes to celebrity theatrics, might have something sharp to say about it. He's roasted the Sussexes before. If this video ends up on his radar, let's just say it's game on. Even the Daily Beast reported that royal commentator Ingrid Seward slammed the post as embarrassing and hypocritical, accusing Meghan of attention-seeking.
A bit skeptical too, but I feel the as usual, the hand of Meghan on this. I think she's looked at their situation and thought, Harry's dad is the king now. And, there is no greater accolade than being, for them, being this, he's the son of the king. And my children are the king's grandchildren. And we mustn't fall out with the royal family. I think it's Meghan, and I think she's decided, Harry, we got to cool this. We got to think of a different path.
Critics are now asking, how can she demand privacy while posting videos of herself twerking in a hospital gown? Speaking of privacy, the couple had been preaching about it. In fact, they were very vocal about wanting to keep things safely away from the public eye. So when Meghan decided to share this clip, people immediately threw hands. Now here's where it gets real. Meghan hasn't responded to the new wave of rumors, but she has been opening up about her health and motherhood journey in other ways. On her podcast Confessions of a Female Founder, Meghan revealed she gained 65 pounds during both pregnancies and was later diagnosed with postpartum preeclampsia, which is a serious, potentially life-threatening condition. According to People, she shared this to highlight the unrealistic expectations placed on mothers, especially those constantly in the public eye, and that, right there, flips the tone. Because when you consider that Meghan was battling a medical condition while still under media fire, that video takes on a whole different meaning. But still, dropping a lighthearted video like this, years after it was filmed in 2021, seems calculated. Not in a shady way, but in a strategic way. Meghan's not reacting anymore. She's controlling the narrative. Well, at least that's what people and critics have been saying. They believe that instead of waiting for the tabloids to twist it, she drops the moment herself, on her terms. And some say that might be exactly what someone like Gutfeld could spin into a segment, analyzing how the Duchess of Sussex is morphing from royal rebel into brand manager. Because make no mistake, this fits neatly into her bigger rebrand. From launching her lifestyle brand American Riviera Orchard to debuting her Netflix series with Love, Meghan, she's carefully stepping away from royal drama and leaning into modern motherhood and media control. And don't be shocked if Greg, or someone with a similarly sharp tongue, decides to dissect that evolution live on air.
Welcome back. I got to come up with a new intro. Hey, it's great to be back. All right. Whew. I think that works. No one can overshare like the prince with red hair. He embarrassed his family for fun. Now his tell-all's #1. It's true. Prince Harry's book has now become the fastest-selling non-fiction book in the history of the UK, selling 400,000 copies on Tuesday.
However, stepping away from the spotlight is proven to be hard, especially if you are Meghan. Now, let's be clear. Speculation about Meghan's pregnancies isn't new. Ever since she first appeared publicly with baby bumps during her pregnancies with Archie and Lilibet, conspiracy theorists have been hard at work, from analyzing the way her baby bump appeared to shift in videos to claiming inconsistencies in her maternity photos. The internet has been rife with whispers, accusations, and theories. Chief among them, that Meghan may have used a prosthetic belly, or even more controversially, a surrogate, to bring her children into the world. And now, as the topic resurfaces again with renewed fury, the debate is more intense than ever. At the heart of this firestorm is a growing belief among skeptics that Meghan and Prince Harry may not have been entirely transparent about the birth of their 2 children. The most extreme faction of critics is convinced that Meghan never carried either Archie or Lilibet herself. These allegations have been stirred up not only by random internet sleuths, but also by people closer to Meghan's orbit, namely her estranged father, Thomas Markle, and half-sister, Samantha Markle. Both have given interviews and statements implying that the truth about Meghan's pregnancies may be murkier than it appears.
If she'll do this to our family, she'll do this to yours. I love her, she's my sister, but humanitarians and diplomats don't behave like this.
Their commentary, although coming from a place of personal animosity, has served to fan the flames of an already polarizing controversy. According to a recent report by Radar Online, Buckingham Palace is now under increasing pressure to clarify the circumstances surrounding the births of the Sussex children. A palace insider allegedly told the outlet, "This scandal comes as no surprise. Speculation about the children has been simmering for years." The source continued, saying the secrecy around both births has only worsened public suspicion. The kids are 6th and 7th in line to the throne, but there are so many questions swirling around them. This crisis won't die down until the irrefutable truth comes out. Part of the intrigue stems from how differently Harry and Meghan handled their pregnancies compared to other royal couples. For example, when Kate Middleton gave birth to Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, each child was introduced to the public mere hours after birth in a full photo op outside the hospital. Meghan and Harry, on the other hand, kept things far more private. With Archie, there was a notable 2-day delay before the public got even the slightest glimpse of him, and even then the baby was swaddled so tightly that only a sliver of his forehead was visible. There was no typical hospital photo op, and little information about the birth itself was released. Lilibet's birth in the US followed a similar pattern of extreme privacy, with even less transparency. Adding fuel to the fire was Meghan's decision to amend Archie's birth certificate just 11 days after his birth. The revision removed her full name, Rachel Meghan Markle, and instead referred to her as Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. While this change might seem minor to the average person, to conspiracy theorists, it raised red flags. Some interpreted it as a calculated move to obscure legal maternity documentation, especially when paired with the couple's overall evasiveness around the births. Royal author Lady Colin Campbell, known for her often controversial views, has emerged as one of the loudest voices demanding transparency. In a scathing interview, she didn't mince words. "I think the whole thing stinks to high heaven." Campbell urged the couple to put an end to the rumors once and for all by providing definitive proof.
She purposely set out to do it because she wanted to rain on Catherine's parade, and she understood that if she broke the rules, she would get more publicity than if she abided by the rules. I mean, the woman is incorrigible. You know, there's just no way around it. She is incorrigible.
Meghan has created a situation that has caused people to believe the children were born by surrogacy, she said. Clear it up once and for all. There should be no mystery as to who is legitimately in the line of succession. The stakes here aren't just about gossip, they're about royal legitimacy. Archie and Lilibet are both in the direct line of succession to the British throne. If there were any question about their birth circumstances that could call their legitimacy into question, it would be a constitutional issue as much as a personal one. The British monarchy is steeped in tradition and succession laws, while modernized in recent years, still rest on clear and legal lines of descent. The idea that two royal children could have been born via surrogacy without public disclosure is not just controversial, it could be seen as scandalous. Of course, it's worth noting that surrogacy itself is not illegal or immoral. In fact, it's a widely accepted practice for couples who face fertility issues or health risks. If Meghan and Harry had used a surrogate, many would argue that it's their personal business. But the royal family, unlike most families, exists in a public fishbowl. Transparency is not just a matter of public curiosity, it's a matter of constitutional interest. That's why critics like Lady Colin Campbell are adamant that the couple come forward with the truth, whatever it may be.
This whole question of the legitimacy of the children should never have arisen, should never have been allowed to arise. Who and whose behavior triggered the whole thing? That's what you have to ask yourself. Now, when you're dealing with very grand and very respected and respectable people, there are some things that are taken for granted.
Couple, for their part, have never directly addressed the surrogacy rumors. They've remained tight-lipped, allowing their silence to speak volumes to those already suspicious. But in doing so, they've also allowed the speculation to spiral. Meghan and Harry, who have consistently expressed frustration with media intrusion into their private lives, may feel they owe no one an explanation. Yet the more they maintain their silence, the more they leave space for rumors to take root. But until now, those claims lived on the fringes. Reddit threads, obscure blogs, and YouTube videos with 400 views. However, the debate had jumped to primetime TV and political panels. Even other big-name critics joined in. Piers Morgan, a longtime Meghan nemesis, went straight for the jugular on X posting, "We're about 2 months away from the sex tape." This was after the video started going viral. Brutal, yes, but not exactly surprising. He's long accused Meghan of playing the victim card while cashing in on the royal brand. And again, Morgan had been candid about his dislike for Meghan. Like, almost everyone knows he has some sort of beef with the ex-royal princess. For instance, he jumped on X and blasted Meghan's Netflix series With Love, Meghan with his usual sarcasm, calling it heartwarming and inspirational, but clearly meaning the exact opposite. He also joked that the episode felt like a masterclass in how to make coffee and said the 10 minutes he could sit through had him laughing out loud. Not with her at her. But wait, there's more, because if we are talking about Morgan, he has a lot to say about Meghan. In fact, he is absolutely convinced that Meghan still has her sights set on Washington, D.C., and he is not holding back. After reports briefly floated her name as a potential replacement for the late Senator Dianne Feinstein, the media went into a frenzy, and so did Piers. Now, to be clear, Meghan never publicly said she wanted the Senate seat. But that didn't stop Piers from diving into full satire mode. In his New York Post column, he called Meghan ferociously ambitious and mocked up a fake political manifesto that would make even her harshest critics do a double take. He joked about Meghan wanting to turn America back into a monarchy just so she could be queen. He also threw in a jab about banning private jets, except for her famous friends like Elton John and George Clooney, of course. Oh, and let's not forget the fake policy about clearing New York streets anytime she's in town so she and Harry can stage another high-speed paparazzi chase. Y'all, Piers didn't just throw shade, he built an entire eclipse. But here's the thing. While the Duchess never campaigned or announced anything political, her name being tossed around in these conversations isn't entirely random. Back in 2020, Meghan reportedly had a 1-hour Zoom call with California Governor Gavin Newsom when he was looking for someone to fill Kamala Harris's vacated seat. That alone got political insiders buzzing, and Meghan hasn't exactly distanced herself from political causes. She's been vocal about abortion rights, gender equality, and she's actively supported the Paid Leave for All campaign. And then we have the ever-vocal Megyn Kelly, who also has a lot to say about Meghan's pregnancy. On her podcast, she dragged Meghan for what she called a disrespectful and PR-motivated stunt. And let's be clear, Kelly didn't just criticize the dance. She practically accused Meghan of weaponizing motherhood and tarnishing royal tradition. And just when you thought things couldn't get more bizarre, experts jumped in too. Social psychologist Dr. Sander van der Linden warned that trying to debunk conspiracy theories like this only makes them stronger. In other words, the moment Meghan dropped that video, it wasn't just a memory, it became evidence. For some people, it screamed, "Why are you trying so hard to prove you were pregnant, unless you weren't?" Still, not everyone is sipping the moon bump tea. Senior midwife Leslie Bland came out swinging against the rumors, saying that what people saw on Meghan's stomach, those odd shapes or shifts, were most likely the baby's limbs pressing outward. She even said Meghan's squatting and dancing was totally normal for someone fit and well-trained. In fact, it's one of the best positions for labor. And let's not forget, you can wear literally anything during labor. Gown, t-shirt, nothing. So no, her black dress isn't proof of anything shady. But let's be real here. This isn't just about the dance. This is about image control. Meghan's been accused of orchestrating every public moment since she stepped out of the palace gates. So when she posts a flashy video from one of the most private moments in a woman's life, people see it as yet another look at me performance. Whether you're Team Meghan or not, the message she thought she was sending, "Hey, I'm a real mom just like you," didn't land the way she hoped. Instead, what she got was a second wave of whispers, headlines, and deep dives from conspiracy circles who were already locked in on her every move. From moon bumps to surrogacy to AI deepfakes, this video didn't put the rumors to rest. It gave them legs, a soundtrack, and a dance routine. Now, speaking of a late-night panel, we have another person joining the list. Jeremy Kyle also called the dancing video a disgrace to the monarchy, adding that it looked like a lap dancing club for pregnant women.
To induce Elizabeth's birth, she's dancing in front of the camera. Oh God, it looks like a lap dancing club with pregnant women. He's also dancing in front of the camera. She's got a black dress on. She's literally holding her bump and twerking, and she's put this on social media. The woman is that's getting worse now. She looks like she's performing.
Well, and JK,
Oh
the lyrics are prego, but I'm still doing moves like Beyonce. Yeah, I said I'm pregnant. Get the child support and pay my rent. Your opinion is irrelevant because I'm a baby mama. I can do what I wanna. That is the song she's dancing to about getting that child support.
And yes, this was not the last time Jeremy joined the chat and dragged Meghan for multiple reasons. If you think the critics are bad enough, then think again. Because now the palace is starting to get involved. In fact, they pretty much want to truth about the pregnancy as well. According to UK royal law, a royal child must be born of the body to be in the line of succession. No exceptions, no surrogates. If Meghan did use a surrogate and passed it off as a natural birth, it's not just deception. It could mean Archie and Lilibet have no claim to their titles. That's not gossip. That's constitutional. Which is why so many people are suddenly nervous. Meghan's hospital room antics weren't just awkward. They might have accidentally revealed the royal family's biggest secret. And Gutfeld? He was one of the few voices in mainstream media actually willing to say it out loud. He pointed to the odd hospital setting, the stage-like lighting, and the weirdly polished camera angles. "This isn't labor," he said. "This is LARPing." That quote went viral, and not just among his usual conservative base. Even some moderate media outlets began to whisper, "If Meghan has nothing to hide, why stage such a bizarre video?" Doctors chimed in too. Nurses, midwives, moms, all saying the same thing. That's not how pregnancy looks. That's not how hospitals operate. One labor nurse commented, "I've seen hundreds of full-term women. That is not one of them." The timing of the video made things worse. Meghan and Harry had just begun hinting at reintroducing their children into royal life. Titles, roles, public appearances. But if the births weren't legitimate, that re-entry plan hits a legal wall. Inside the palace, the whispers grew louder. Now, sources suggested that King Charles was reportedly furious. William? Even worse. According to sources close to the royals, he privately referred to the video as a disgrace to everything Mum stood for. Royal insiders have allegedly begun re-examining records, travel logs, hospital reports, medical documentation. It even got to the point that quiet investigations are underway. Some are even calling for an official inquiry into the legitimacy of Meghan and Harry's children's place in the line of succession. And through it all, Meghan has stayed silent. Not a denial, not an explanation, just silence. But that's what has so many people fired up. It's not just the alleged bump. It's the idea that everything the public has been told might be part of an elaborate act. A staged storyline built to sell a brand. And if that brand includes fake pregnancies, that's not just shady, that's historical fraud. Morgan added fuel to the fire by resurfacing older clips of Meghan's bump folding oddly during interviews. Split screens, slow motion analysis, videos that used to be dismissed as internet conspiracies were now airing on national TV. But so far, the palace remains silent. But behind those gilded doors, decisions are being made. Sources say King Charles is considering freezing Meghan and Harry's titles until clarity is achieved. William, meanwhile, is reportedly pushing for more aggressive measures to protect the monarchy's credibility. And Gutfeld? Fans say he will hit hard as long as he gets the chance. Which means, as long as Meghan does something, he'll surely be not far behind, ready to fire. Whether you love or hate him, Gutfeld voiced what many were already thinking. And in doing so, he forced a conversation the palace has avoided for years. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about Meghan. It's about monarchy, truth, and whether the most sacred institution in the UK has been turned into a reality show. And if that's the case, then the crown isn't just tarnished, it's cracked. But what do you guys think? Did Meghan really lie about her pregnancy? Let us know what you think in the comments below and stick around for more.